up? I got Naskin here with me. This ain't a diss song, but yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's nothing. That Super Bowl ring, that's nothing. Pull up in your town when you.
So today we had Fidal out with a calf, Jamal Williams with a hamstring, Balaga was just veteran rest, and then Tim Boyle with a personal matter.
Matt, when it comes to scoring the competitive period at the end there, does Manny's scramble count as a touchdown for the offense or the defense from that one?
You know what? It's hard in the heat of the moment to really score those things. We always go back to the videotape, but you know, that's realistic life in the red zone, right? You'd like plays that are going to be on schedule, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of those plays, especially in that area, are going to be off schedule. So it's something we'll take a look at.
Did you cut it short a little bit because of the heat?
No, actually it's just kind of a training principle. Usually the third day is when most players are a little bit more susceptible to an injury, and so I just thought it was take it back a little bit today and then crank it up tomorrow.
Because you have so much to do. Is it kind of a balancing act of trying to keep your guys fresh and safe, but also trying to accomplish everything that you want to get done?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, you know, although we'd like to be out here as coaches all day, but we got to be mindful of these guys and their bodies because, you know, in this league, you really can't afford to really ever lose any of your players. And so, you know, I don't think a half an hour is going to matter, you know, come the season. But if you lose a guy, that certainly can impact things.
Matt, in the one-on-one pass rush drill, you guys had your guys going 2 reps at a time. Mm-hmm. What's the philosophy there? Is it just to learn immediate feedback?
Yeah, I think just more or less transition time equals more reps.
From an evaluation standpoint, how different is it for you when they're in full pads like tomorrow as opposed to just the shorter pads? I mean, what's the biggest difference between the two?
Honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference. It's more or less, I think guys, when they are in shorts, might be a little bit more mindful of not going to the ground. The whole intent out here is we just don't want guys going to the ground, whether we're in full pads, whether we're in, you know, throughout OTAs. We want guys to stay on their feet.
What were your overall first impressions of
You know, I thought it was good. I thought there was some good banging going on. I think it definitely makes the run game much more realistic, and then some of the stuff that we're trying to do with some of our actions. But until I go back and watch the whole thing, I'll have a better answer for you tomorrow.
And when you first turned on the film of Aaron Jones, when you took this job, what stood out to you, and where do you see needed areas of growth for him still?
Yeah, I just think that he's a dynamic one-cut runner that has some versatility in the pass game. He's got good hands, and I'm sure glad that he's on our team. But I think just for him and a lot of our players, it's just getting comfortable with our offense and knowing exactly what to do and digging at the details.
I was talking to some of the veteran linemen. They talked about wearing this outside zone scheme. It's a different way of being taught than what they're used to, very open to it. But they also feel that they can be more aware as to the backs role in that too. So how's that progress?
Yeah, well, that's how we talk to the backs is you're really setting up the linemen's blocks, because we're telling those guys to run off the football, and that's scary for those guys because you know, a guy makes an inside move, it's harder to recover as opposed to being a little bit slow off the ball, and that the back's path is so imperative, because if somebody does stunt inside, we need to get a piece of that guy, and then we're counting on the back getting around that block.
Matt, what's up? It can be at times for that fourth quarterback, you know, getting reps. What does a day like today kind of mean for Manny to be able to get a couple more reps, 2 reps?
Yeah, I mean, what a great opportunity for him, and I wasn't with him the whole time, but there were some good things that I saw that he did down in that fringe red area that, I think I'm interested to see the tape today. And, the one thing I like about Manny is he does have a lot of athleticism that he can create some off schedules like you saw at the end of the practice there. So, young quarterback that I think has continued to show some progress, and I think he's, quite frankly, earning himself some more reps as well.
Matt, speaking of the fringe red area and off-schedule plays, in that 11-on-11 in the fringe red area, Rodgers hits Geronimo on a quick slant. He's wide open, and he runs basically 25 yards for a touchdown. Then he has the extended play down here that he throws a touchdown to Aaron Jones. As long as he's not extending plays to a too lengthy degree, what can the combination of your scheme and getting the ball out quickly and his ability to extend when necessary do for what you guys want to do?
Well, that's one thing I've always admired about him, just watching him throughout the years, is just he has a great feel. And, when the play's there in rhythm, he generally makes the play. I mean, that's what the great ones do, and he does that. But when it's not there, he has that ability to create and extend. And I think, we today with that one play in particular with Geronimo, we had a good call on for the coverage. And that's what you're always trying to do as a play caller, is try to set your guys up and put them in a position where, that you're calling the play for, or you're getting the exact defense that you're calling the play for. And that's what happened on that play.
Down in the red zone, did you challenge Aaron at all? Maybe give him a little some extra, since his first 2 days weren't too successful for the ones. Today he gets 3 touchdowns.
No, I think we challenge him every day. And you know what? He challenges us, and he challenges himself, and he challenges all the guys in the huddle. That's what I love about him. And you can see that competitive spirit each and every day, whether it's, like I said, whether it's out here on the field or whether it's in the meeting room. And, right now, I'll say this. It's more about installing our system, not only from an offensive standpoint, but also from a defensive standpoint. And some days, one group's going to get the better of the other, and that's just the way it is. But it's not as much game planning going on right at this stage of the game. And that was true for most OTAs as well.
When you script plays for practice, are you looking at it like, I want to see this play against this defense, or do you script separately from the defensive coaches just to go down a distance and let them run what they want?
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, typically, you give them the personnel, and you as an offensive coach, you usually fill everything out first, then the defense fills in their stuff. But if there's something that Pet wants to see from us, then we accommodate. If there's something that, as an offense, we want to see from Pet, then we always make that work. And sometimes we're trying to showcase a guy's talent, and on that particular play to Gmo, it was man coverage, and we wanted to see him run one of those option routes.
Was the scripts done 2 months ago, or did you do this yesterday? Or?
Yeah, no, the scripts actually were done. The first 4 practices were done before we left, and then you tweak them here and there as needed, and then on our off day we'll script the next 4 practices. I don't like to script too far in advance, because you don't always know what you need, and this, I think you're more mindful when you're scripting in that moment.
Along those lines, Matt, is that maybe when you'll reevaluate your skill player rotations? Because as you said early, it's about saving legs, getting guys in a rhythm, but I'm sure at some point, or maybe not, you'd want 1, 2, 3 reps at a time for guys, or how do you balance that? Is it part of the script, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now we're mindful. We're trying to get guys, back into their rhythm and back into football shape. And so it is a process. And as we go, once you see more unscripted periods where it's more move the ball, more competitive periods, then guys will be in there for longer periods of time.
Do you think rotating receivers in tandem, is that beneficial for those guys who have really good?
No, not at all. It's just more or less, some guys, certain plays you want to showcase one guy, and it's pretty play dependent.
Red zone down on the other end, I think you have 3 penalties on quick stuff.
Yeah.
the line real quick. Were they all on you, or did you catch a defense?
Well, yeah, they were all on me,
Wow.
right? Yeah, they were all on us. No, I think until I look at it, it's hard to tell because sometimes you might not catch an offensive lineman twitching, and that draws the defender to jump. But that's something I stress to the team afterwards: is we have got to be more disciplined. There's no doubt about it, and there was way too many pre-snap penalties, and also just as a team, I just our sense of urgency. There's room for growth there. There's getting in and out of the huddle, the tempos with the motions from a defensive perspective, just the communication from pre-snap. So there's a lot of room for improvement there.
You've run a lot of red zone all 3 days so far. Is that going to be the plan going forward? And this might be a follow-up of why such an emphasis on that.
So the design behind that was just to limit the running. And it wasn't something that I had ever done before in my career until last year in Tennessee. That's something that Mike Vrabel brought, and I thought that was a pretty smart move. You got some guys are in better shape than others, and so it just helps you get back into the rhythm, get back into football shape. And I don't want to wear these guys out in the first 4 days. So doing 2 red zone days, like I said, it just kind of limits the volume, the yardage that these guys are going to put on their legs.
Matt, something I noticed in the off-season program that carried over to training camp might not be that special, but the guys that aren't practicing with black bands, that's something that you brought, or is it anything more than identifying guys that can't practice, or is there something?
Yeah.
I mean, they seem pretty, they're not wearing helmets or.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my idea.
Hey, Matt, Tyne is obviously still a developing guy, but he had the nice behind one-handed catch in the red zone. How does his skill set kind of fit what you want to do offensively, and do you see him kind of ascending here as he gets more opportunities?
Yeah, I do. I think, just watching him in a limited capacity last season, I thought he did some nice things, and getting to know him, I think, he's a versatile guy. Sure, there's room for improvement in both the run and the pass, with more of an emphasis on the running game, but I think he's a versatile guy. He's very conscientious about what he does, and he's got 2 great vets in that room to really learn from. And so I think the future's bright for him, and we're just going to keep challenging him each and every day to get a little bit better.
One more, please.
What do you see from Tremont Williams? Obviously, the elder statesman on defense by a lot, had a breakup in the end zone today. Does he look his age to you?
Yeah, no, he's such a pro. He knows how to take care of himself. Again, just when you have a veteran of that's played at such a high level like he's played for all these years, and he's just a steady presence back there. He is a great teammate in the fact that he helps the young guys along, and I've been really pleased with what he brings to the table for our defense.